Good morning, I think. Yeah. Okay. It says I'm here. Good morning. My name is Terry Morgan. It's Thursday. I had to think about it for a minute. Thursday, May 12th, 2022. And we are here to practice Wudang Qigong. We have Wudang Qigong's basic sets this morning, sets 1 through 9. I'm going to pay special attention this morning to the way that we practice. So I'm going to pick a couple of sets we're going to work on, and the idea behind what we're going to do is the sense of both calming and strengthening, so that as we practice, we not only develop the strength and the skill that we're working on, we also develop the ability to create calmness. So this idea, if you've ever walked into a room of people, okay, and pre-COVID, in the before time, all right, and you're meeting people in the room, and there are one or two people that just stand out. One type of person is the outgoing kind of a person, the one who is reaching out and saying, "Hi, how are you? How you go? How's it going? How do you do?" And glad handing, right? That person has that spirit to go, has that spirit to go out, to reach out to other people. Another kind of person is the person that attracts because they're quiet. They open that opportunity for someone else. That quiet, centered calmness that I've experienced from other people, and the one that stands out to me the most was a gentleman who was interviewing me for a docu-series on someone else. So I knew this other person, they wanted to talk to me, how do you know this guy, and all this stuff. So we talked. The interviewer had this quiet that we're going to work on this morning. Very simple questions. And then he would open the door for whatever answer I wanted to give him. That skill, being able to open that door into a receptive and welcoming circumstance, is part of the skill that we want to learn. And I'm going to talk about that for just another second before we get started. In the tradition that I study, the goal is to not fight. Don't fight. We don't want to fight. We don't. We want to avoid that. We don't want to do that. How do we do that? This idea, stay with me here, this idea of welcoming, of that sense of quiet that welcomes the other. Says, yeah, that's fine. Everything's good. We're all happy. It's all fine. Really. We're all happy here. It's all good. Doesn't matter if you feel it totally or not. It's a skill, and it's a sense of confidence, as well as that combination of breathing and focus on what you're trying to do. So, let's suppose, okay, we're going to use this morning. Let's suppose that I'm going to walk into a room. I'm going to step off camera here. I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to walk into the room, and I'm the happy person. I'm the person everybody wants to gravitate to because this person is the life of the party. Hey, how's it going? What are we doing today? Let's get something going here. Let's get started, right? Here we go. All right, now here we go. We're gonna get started. Now, right? Second person. Very friendly. Outreach. I'm doing positive things this morning, all right? Friendly. Outreach. Not the happy person, but friendly and warm, and you want to meet this person. Hi, how are you? How you doing today? I'm doing really well. I appreciate the thought. Thank you. Let's get something going here. Let's get started, all right? One more. That warm, attractive. There's one more. That warm, attractive person that says hello and means it. They want that response, and they're not so much extending as welcoming that welcome. Come in. Good morning. How are you today? Let's get started. Think about the difference for just a minute. Think about just those three. And again, I want to stay positive this morning. I could introduce some negatives, but I don't want to do that today. Intention, my intention, I'm not going to do that. All right, so with these three positives, you got the very exuberant happy person. You got the welcome happy person, friendly, outgoing, and you've got the person who's inviting you in. All of these are skills that we want to practice. They're things that we want to be able to do. In the tradition, so now we have examples, right? In the tradition that I follow, any of those are good. The better two, not so much the happy exuberant, but the friendly outreach as well as the welcome, please come in. Both of those personalities, both of those approaches, because it doesn't have to be your personality, it can be your approach to things. It could be your approach to a particular situation or a particular circumstance. How we approach things matters. With this, how do I approach? Well, what? I'm asking you to come in, I'm extending the hand. Either one. How do we pay attention to that in our practice? How do we address that idea behind so that we have this skill, available to neutralize whatever might be coming. Alright, so I don't want this. I want to neutralize it. I want to move out of the way. Right? This sensibility for how we do that, how we adjust that change, is part of our internal workmanship. It's part of what's going on inside as we practice. It starts with our foundation work. This class starts here. And that sense of, what do I want to cultivate? What do I want to create for myself? And if I walk into a situation, and bringing it back, if I walk into a situation, what energy do I want to bring into that room? What can I? I just showed 3. What can I bring into the room? I've got a couple dozen more that I could probably come up with. In the tradition, if I can avoid a fight, I prefer it. Right? To win without fighting, yeah, no fighting. I don't want to do that. I have to expend my energy. I don't want to do that. I just I have my over here, and you have that, right? I just want to win. I don't want to fight. That idea, not fighting, just winning. This is what I want. I get what I want. I win. It doesn't matter that you might get what you want too, right? That could be a good thing. You get what you want, I get what I want, everybody wins. This is good, right? My getting what I want doesn't mean you can't have what you want, right? That attitude and that sense of outreach and welcome is at the core of the tradition that I follow, and it's how a lot of battles weren't fought, because the person who was managing the security, it's going a couple of centuries back, all right, and I'm not here in this country, I'm not in the United States, I'm in China thinking about it. All right, that idea, and I'm going to clarify that in a minute, that idea that we really don't want to fight. How can we manage whatever the circumstance is without that? That skill is much more valuable than being able to fight. All right, now, let me put this in context, and I'm going to clarify what I just said. The tradition that I study in internal Chinese martial arts comes from central China. Most of my study has been in Henan province, and most of my study has been with a gentleman named Liu Zheng. His history is also part of my history because I became his student for close to 30 years, not just a couple of weeks, right? I didn't just go over and take a couple classes. 30 years. So I learned a little bit. I did. And in that history, he talked about his grandfather being an escort for travelers in China. his grandfather. So, 20th century. And the idea that sitting down to have tea was a much better method of handling issues than fighting. Being able to do that takes some skill. This welcoming skill, please, come in, have a seat. We have 3 kinds of tea. Which one would you like? That takes some skill, particularly when the person that you're welcoming may not have your health in mind. Alright? This is a skill we're going to practice this morning. Alright. How do we do this? Using these exercises. Feet about shoulder width apart. Yes, we are really going to get started now. As we do this first set, begin at extreme emptiness, right? As we do this first set, think about what makes you feel welcome. And very quietly, don't, this is, you walk into a room and there's in the winter, fire in the fireplace. That makes me feel really welcome. In summertime, cool breeze, maybe a fresh orange just been sliced on the table. Walk into that room. Smells nice, feels nice. It's not that much. It's just a little. Welcome. Feet about shoulder width apart. Pull up through the crown of the head. Shoulders down. Ladies, your right hand on the outside. Gentlemen, left hand on the outside. And breathe in. And breathe out. Keep that idea in mind. That sense of quiet. And the sense that you want the other person to feel welcome. Extend your energy. Pay attention to the feeling that you have. Concentrate on it. Use it. Follow the breath. Breathe in. 2 more. And last time. Hands down on both sides. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. Keep going with this thought that as we're pushing the mountain, as we push out, it's not, and this is a little change, right? This is because I want to work on this particular thought, this welcome idea this morning. As we push out, think more about reaching out. Reaching out, not pushing out. Even though the motion is here, and on another day, another time, we will focus on this idea of push. Today, different practice. Today, as we push out, think more about reaching out. so that you can pull in. That extend, welcome, come in. Oh. That idea, please. Quietly, with a sense, that same sense, that idea that there's that fresh sliced orange on the table and a cool breeze in the summer, a fireplace and a warm rug and a nice chair in the winter. Okay. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Again, think more about extending, and now pull in. Welcome. And press down. Breathe in. Same idea. As you reach out, as you press forward, think more about reaching out towards as opposed to pushing away. Feels different, doesn't it? Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keep the focus on that open, welcoming idea. Two more. Breathe out and pull in. And one more time. Press down along both sides, pull up through the crown of the head, raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. Breathe out. This internal work, this idea behind, changes how the movement feels, changes how the movement appears, changes the emphasis for that movement. We want the ability to make those changes. We want the ability to choose which practice is going to be the most effective and the most useful for us at this time on this day. Right? We want that ability. Let's look at it, right? I'm only going to practice this way. Well, what about if you're feeling this, or if this has something, right? What about if you have an injury? What about it, right? Then what? Well, I'm not going to practice because I have to practice this way. No, you don't. And in fact, that idea that there are so many different ways to practice, that there are more options than just this one thing, has kept me going for 40 years, right? The opportunities that we look for in our practice don't appear without that practice. And if we're not paying attention to where we are, not only literally but figuratively, where am I in my practice? What am I doing? How am I steady? What's my steady, right? Where am I in this? Am I a beginner? Am I a little bit more advanced? Am I more advanced? Am I where am I on the spectrum of things that I have learned? How do I feel about that? understanding your own feelings, understanding, acknowledging, this is not feeling so great. Yeah, this is good. This is fine. Oh, hey, this feels great. It's not a problem. Acknowledging all of that gives you the insight to do the practice that we're doing today. That, how do I create a sense of welcome? How do I encourage the other person to be more open to give rather than me taking? Right? Difference. Give. Take. That tiny difference, little, is my thought. How I think about what I'm doing when I extend my hand. It's not necessarily conscious. Right now, this is the time to make it conscious. We want to pay attention to that. We're going to work on palm supporting heaven with the same idea. Yeah, there's a couple things I'm skipping. Palm supporting heaven with the same idea of welcoming. So as you push up, it's not so much push as reach. Step back. Reach to bring in. As we return. That welcome, come in. Quiet. Don't let your mind be distracted. Quiet. Focused. Welcome. Feet about shoulder width apart. Relax through the upper back, relax through the back of the neck. Quiet the mind. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Reach and bring it in. Quietly. Welcome. No force. Press up, reach up, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and breathe in, and breathe out. Open the back. Very quiet. Extend, reach, and pull in. 2 more. Reach up and pull in. Now 1 more time. And palms up. Press down on both sides, pull up through the crown of the head, raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. And breathe out. And relax. We're going to do a little bit more. We're going to use ward off pull down. Right? This idea behind the thing that we're focused on this morning is welcome. Come in. Come. that sense, that ability, as part of our whole practice, right? Everything that I do. This stepping back a little bit, opening, is very much yin energy. Okay, yang is that outreach, hi, how are you? That very happy person, that's a lot of yang energy right there. The quiet welcoming, this is yin. My yang hand, this is my yin hand. Alright, the right hand is my dominant hand, it's my yang hand. This is my yin hand over here, left hand. Right? That it is, that's the way we have. In these arts, we can look at everything, literally, as being part of yin or part of yang. If we do that, it gives us the opportunity to see quite literally the other side, because we assume, this is my tradition, that yin and yang are inseparable. They're never going to separate, right? They're always together. If you have yin, you have yang. If you have yang, you have yin. They're both always together. They're not opposites. They're integrated complements. If you have one, you must have the other. That insight gives us opportunities to pay attention to things that we might not otherwise pay attention to. In today's class, we're paying attention to the sense of quiet welcoming. I'm here, and I'm warm. That comfortable chair next to the fire, nice fire, it's nice, toasty, and it's a nice chair to sit in, a little rug there, maybe even cat. I don't know, you like a cat, you can have a dog. It's your image, right? You can pick which one you want. It's comfortable, it's warm. There's a smell from the fire that we don't always pay attention to, but it's there, and it makes us feel comfortable. It makes us feel welcome. The chair, the way that chair looks, the way that chair sits, makes you feel, it's your chair, makes you feel welcome. You walk in, you're like, oh wow, that's my favorite chair. I'm gonna go sit in that chair. That looks great. That gentle welcome. Come in. Ward off, pull down, right? Wrap and open. Okay, and here, think about, as you open, think about opening the middle dantian, right here. Open. Make sure that as you're doing, as you want to do that, you want the circulation through the small heavenly circle, lower dantian, yin, up the back, and around. Keep that circulation going. As you open, focus on the middle dantian. Welcome. Feet about shoulder width apart, stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Breathe in. Breathe out. Shift right. Gentle hold and open. Come back to center. wrap and open. Very gentle. Pay attention to the shape of the form as you move, and keep that idea of very soft, gentle, that summer breeze with a fresh sliced orange on the table. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Comfortable, welcoming. Open the breath, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Open the lower back and breathe. Two more. Smile and open. Middle plank in, follow the circle, small heavenly circle. Breathe in, open, come back to center. Hands down along both sides, pull up through the crown of the head, raise the heels and lower. Stay there, breathe in, breathe out. This idea of open, of circulating the inner energy. Just now, you saw me drop my head and then raise it back up. As I was talking about paying attention to the circulation through the small heavenly circle, I noticed that I had a little bit of tension right here in the back of my neck that was not giving me as clean a connection through the jade pillow right here at the base of the neck as I wanted. So drop the neck, extend it, stretch it, raise the head, remove that blockage. A little bit, this is one of the things that is part of more advanced practice, right? This correct as you go. It's something that we have to learn. It's not automagical, and it's not something that we get necessarily from seeing. You might not have seen what I did. You might have noticed it, you might have not understood what I was doing. You might have seen it, you might not have noticed it. If I didn't call it out, you might not have seen it. That small adjustment can make all the difference in both your own practice and in how you engage with others. Which type of practice depends on you, depends on the day of the week. It does. It depends on it. Yeah, I'm still having trouble with that. It depends on so many things. Every time I walk in this room, Every time I walk in the other, when I can walk in the other studio, every time I walk in to present a class, there's something different. It's a different day, it's a different time. I'm using the same forms, working with the same material. The idea behind and what we're doing within the exercise needs some explanation. Without it, you're not going to understand. I didn't understand without explanation. Oh, look at that. What's that? I don't know. I have no idea. What's this person doing? Why is that person better than these two people doing almost the same thing? How come this person looks different than what that person is doing? Right? That sensibility, understanding what goes on behind, and paying attention to how we practice that, so that it's not accidental, is part of how we develop our own chi. It's part of how we develop our skills. If I want to neutralize the situation, I want to stop something. And I've been a center referee in some things, so this is something that I learned. The referee needs to be open and welcoming, as well as definitive, right? If you're going to step in between two people and separate them, you can't engage with either fighter. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Really, it doesn't work. You also have to be able to take whatever's coming in between, with two fighters. I'm going to step in between them. How am I going to stop them from doing whatever it is they're doing? Right, use some technique. Yes, but not the one you're thinking of. Use the one that we just did. This practice. Three fighters. I step in the middle. Now, it's not that I can't do something, it's that I'm not going to. That what I'm going to choose to do is to neutralize the energy between both of them so that they each want to stop. Okay. Now, my experience did stop. It's not stop. That gives them the opportunity. Now, as I started to say, my experience has been in tournament. Most of the time, not always, but most of the time, everybody pays attention to the rules. You're there to achieve some recognition for your school and your teacher and the other students that come with you, right? And for the most part, not everybody, but for the most part, everybody's going to play by whatever the rules are that day. stepping in between two people who are extremely angry is a whole different thing. Being able to neutralize that is not the same as being able to neutralize two fighters in a controlled situation. It's not. The skill that I talked about, that my teacher's grandfather had, welcome. Let's have some tea. Wasn't because he didn't know how to fight. He was good. It's the history, right? He was a formidable fighter. He was a sought-after person to be an escort. So his offering tea wasn't weakness for him. He could do a lot of things. Why? We can sit down and have tea. Let's try that. That strength isn't accidental. It comes from developing the skill to change your own emotion, your own thought, your own intent, to maintain that change. Practice gives you that skill. And then be able to use it as you choose. Use it or not, but it's there. I've got a toolbox. What's in my toolbox? Oh, I got one of those, I got one of those. Yeah, let me get it out. Oh, I got one of those. All right, here, I'm going to use this today. Right? That idea is part of long-term practice. It's not 5 minutes here, it's not 5 minutes there, it's I'm going to develop this, I'm going to develop this, I'm going to develop this. And as I continue that practice, the internal skills that I work on, the kinds of things that I think about, and the way that I approach each movement changes and develops and gets more and more refined, and then I work on another one, and then I can work on another one, and then I work on another one. It's furnishing the house, if you want to think about it that way. In each type of practice, we pay attention to certain skills. We bring all of those skills together. That's the cumulative practice that when we look back at what we've done, we can see those accomplishments, we can see how our practice has changed, and we can see all of those tools that we've developed and brought into our toolbox. I'm going to stop here for today. The key idea behind today's class is welcome. Come in. That quiet sense of allowing the other person to come in. Bring this in. Very much on the yin side. Right? Very little yang in this idea. Very much bring in. That idea gives us the ability to calm another person, to calm ourselves, to create a situation in which another person feels welcome. I'll be back tomorrow with advanced class, the advanced sets 10 through 18, and next week, Xingyi, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Qigong, Thursday and Friday. I hope you'll join me. Thank you.